Persuasive Speech, I will discuss the right and privilege to bear arms in America. The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." The history behind the Second Amendment was that the founding generation mistrusted the military. Americans believed, based on their past with England, that central governments are prone to use armies to oppress the people. Being able to protect yourself with a gun is self-defense or home protection. The castle doctrine is a concept that comes from a philosophy that every person is the king or queen of their home or domain. The Texas Penal Code 9.31 states that governing the justified use of non-deadly force and 9.32 governing the justified use of deadly force are our state's versions of the castle doctrine. In Texas, our law extends the castle doctrine beyond your residence to your occupied vehicle or workplace. With the use of home protection, there was a case in 2008, the District of Columbia versus Heller. Heller filed a suit seeking on the Second Amendment grounds as it prohibits the use of functional firearms in the house, making your ability to protect your home with a firearm almost impossible in the District of Columbia. Now on to the process of obtaining and carrying a licensed gun. In order to obtain a CHL within the state of Texas, you must have a valid state-issued ID. You must be at least 21 years old, have no felonies on your record, you cannot be chemically dependent, cannot suffer from a psychiatric disorder or similar condition, you must be able to use good judgment in storing the weapon and using the weapon, must not have preceding the date of application for 5 years, be convicted of a Class A or Class B misdemeanor or equivalent offense. Now to discuss firearms and safety features associated and where you can store those firearms safely and securely. Firearms are generally categorized into 3 broad types: handguns, rifles, and shotguns, although rifles and shotguns are both considered long guns. The 3 basic general rules of safe gun handling include always pointing the muzzle in a safe direction. Never point the firearm at anyone or anything you do not want to shoot. Keep your finger off the trigger and outside the trigger guard until you are ready. The safety features specifically on a majority of shotguns and rifles or long guns include a safety button, switch, slide, lever, wing, or hammer, or an external lock, a trigger block, which you can place on the trigger guard until you are ready to shoot. The safety features specifically on majority of pistols include pivot safety, which is a thumb safety, located on the frame of the gun, which is a pivoting lever or tab that blocks the trigger or firing pin. There is a grip safety, located on the grip of the gun, common on modern semi-automatic pistols, which is a bar that blocks firing until you grip the gun and compress the safety. And lastly, there is the hammer safety, which is more typically seen on a revolver. I will now discuss the at-home firearm safety features. Ensure that any and every weapon is stored safely and securely in your homes. Use a lockbox for securing firearms, which need to be kept readily available and loaded in case for defensive use. Use trigger locks or padlocks to secure firearms that don't necessarily need to be accessed in the time of defense. More specifically, metal gun cabinets or gun safes can be used to safeguard firearms from unauthorized access or theft in many circumstances. Metal gun cabinets and gun safes are generally preferable compared to open racks or glass front cabinets. Hiding a firearm won't secure it from discovery and possibly misuse by curious children or intruders. Firearms should be stored unloaded and separate from ammunition when the firearm isn't needed for ready, accessible use. Explore gun-proofing or proper training for your child to ensure that they know the responsibilities and the risks involved with firearms, along with easing the curiosity they may face. Although it is very important to protect not only yourself, but your family and your property from those with malicious intent, knowing the risks and dangers involved with owning a firearm are very important. Although there are dangers associated, there are very useful and effective safety options that can reduce the risks and dangers involved. Thank you.